She was hanging from the ship by a thin band of light. Not drifting, not unconscious, hanging deliberately, her feet bare in vacuum. One hand wrapped around a glowing restraint fused into the freighter's hull. Her eyes were open, calm. Watching him through the cockpit glass as alarms screamed and the docking clamps failed to engage. And when his ship's AI finally translated the first line of the ancient script, burning across his console, it spoke in a flat, polite voice. Attached asset detected. He killed the engines. The freighter shuddered, settling into a slow, controlled drift above the trade station's dead orbit. Only then did he breathe. His name was Aaron Vale. No titles, no medals, no past worth retelling. He bought broken ships, fixed them just enough to resell, and stayed out of politics because politics killed people like him. This freighter was supposed to be simple, cheap hull, old drives, paperwork clean enough to pass a frontier registry scan, until he saw her blue-gray skin, etched faintly with lines that looked ceremonial rather than biological. Hair pale as frost, braided tight against her scalp. Clothing minimal, functional, woven with faintly glowing threads that held firm against vacuum. She floated there without panic, without urgency, as if hanging from a stranger's ship in the void was merely an appointment she expected him to keep. Aaron swallowed and keyed the external mic. "Hey," he said, because that was all his brain could find. "You're attached to my ship." "Yes," she replied instantly. Her voice came through clean, steady, almost gentle. "That is correct." He brought her inside through the cargo airlock, not because she asked, because leaving someone outside, alien or not, was something he couldn't do. The restraint dissolved the moment atmosphere returned, collapsing into light that flowed back into the hull, plating like it had never been separate. She stepped inside barefoot on cold metal and inclined her head. "Thank you for confirming custody," she said. "I didn't confirm anything," Aaron replied quickly. You'd freeze out there." "I would not," she said. But the gesture is noted. That unsettled him more than fear would have. They sat across from each other in the cargo bay, crates stacked high, gravity low enough that small movements felt deliberate. She did not fidget, did not look around. Her attention stayed on him, respectful but unblinking. "My name is Salathi of the Kesh Accord," she said. "I am listed under your vessel's transfer annex as an attached asset." "That's not a thing," Aaron said. "It is," she replied. "It predates your species' written language." He pulled the ship's records up again, fingers shaking now. The annex wasn't visible under standard filters. He had missed it because everyone missed it. A clause written in extinct alien code, translated only when the ship's SI recognized her biological signature. Asset, Salathi. Status, bound. Condition, transfer with hull. He leaned back slowly. "Your property?" She tilted her head slightly. "I am bound," she corrected. "Not owned. That doesn't make it better. It makes it accurate. The law was older than empires." That was what the station magistrate told him an hour later. Voice weary over a secure channel. "Interstellar commercial binding," she said. "Pre-alliance, pre-human. We don't enforce it. But we recognize it. What does that mean for me?" Aaron asked. "It means," the magistrate said carefully, "that if you reject the asset, she reverts to default status. And that is seizure, containment, likely indefinite." Aaron glanced at Salathi. She stood near the bulkhead, hands folded, listening without comment. "And if I accept?" he asked, silence stretched. "Then you assume full custodial responsibility," the magistrate said. "Any crime she has committed or will commit. Transfers to you, blood debts, political liabilities, sanctions." Aaron laughed once, sharp and humorless. "You're telling me I bought a ship and got centuries of someone else's problems?" "Yes," the magistrate said softly. "You did." The channel closed. Salathi met his eyes. "You should void the contract," she said calmly. "I will not resist. What happens to you?" I am removed from circulation. That sounds like death. It is adjacent, she replied. But not dramatic, she explained it to him without emotion. Her people had once ruled a trade corridor so vital that wars were fought in whispers around it. She had been a legal anchor bound to assets, ensuring compliance through personal liability. When her civilization fell, the law remained. She had been attached to ships ever since, passed from owner to owner, forgotten, remembered only when the clause activated. You've done nothing wrong? Aaron asked. She paused. I have enforced law, she said. Law creates enemies. That's not an answer. No, she agreed. It is a boundary. He slept badly that night. The ship's hum felt louder with her aboard. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the line of light holding her outside the hull. Morning ship time came with a priority alert. A cash delegation vessel had entered the sector. They wanted her returned. They consider me a relic, Selethi said as the delegation hailed them. An embarrassment. What happens if they take you? They will unbind me, she said, publicly, to demonstrate authority. That sounds final. Yes. Aaron ran a hand through his hair. I'm not equipped for this, he muttered. I fix engines. I flip hulls. I don't decide the fate of nations, Selethi finished. Nor do I ask you to. Then why tell me everything so calmly? She looked at him then, truly looked. Because begging would be dishonest, she said. And because the choice must be clean. The delegation docked without waiting for permission. Armored envoys, ritual markings, authority worn like gravity. You are in possession of bound property, their leader said. Release it. She's not property, Aaron replied. She is law, the alien said. And you are temporary. Aaron felt small. Ordinary, exactly what he had always been. But he thought of the way Selethi had floated in vacuum without fear. I'm invoking custodial claim, he said. The words tasted like rust. The delegation froze. Selethi's eyes widened, just slightly. You understand what you accept? The leader asked. Aaron nodded. Everything she's ever done becomes mine, he said. Every enemy. Every debt. Yes. Then I accept, the ship's systems chimed. Contract voided, custody confirmed. Selethi exhaled for the first time since he'd met her. The cost came fast. Accounts frozen, docking rights revoked. Threats that came wrapped in politeness, at the midpoint of it all. Aaron sold the freighter, his only asset. He signed it over to a recycler for scrap value. Liquidated everything to cover the first wave of penalties. Selethi watched him sign the transfer. You are diminishing yourself, she said. He shrugged. I've been poorer. You had a future, she replied. So do you, he said. That was the deal. The escalation was inevitable. Her own people denounced her. Other factions took interest. Pressure mounted, not with guns, but with isolation. Then came the final hearing. A neutral station, no flags, no weapons, just law. The council reviewed the ancient contract. The voiding, the custodial claim. And what is your intent now, human? They asked Urain. He stood alone, no ship, no leverage. I'm releasing her, he said. Gasps rippled. Selethi turned sharply. You cannot, she said. That returns liability to. No, Aaron said gently. I'm not transferring custody. I'm ending it. The chamber stilled. That requires equivalence, the council warned. A replacement anchor. Aaron nodded. I know. He stepped forward. I'll bind myself. Silence. A human. Offering himself to ancient law, not as ruler, not as martyr, just present. Selethi stared at him, composure cracking. You don't understand, she said quietly. This will follow you forever, he smiled faintly. I don't plan on going anywhere important, the law accepted. Because law always did, the binding passed not as chains, but as recognition. Selethi was free, truly. She knelt before him then, not in submission, but in respect. Her people watched, stunned. The council recorded the moment in silence. Aaron helped her up. "Go," he said. "Leave." She hesitated, then reached out and pressed her forehead briefly to his, a Kesh gesture older than words. When she turned away, the chamber parted for her. No one tried to stop her. Aaron walked out alone. No ship, no future plans, just a man who had made one clean choice. Behind him, Salethi paused at the threshold. She looked back once, inclined her head, and said nothing. Neither did he. The station lights dimmed. The law shifted, and somewhere far beyond politics and clauses, a human act of quiet compassion rewrote history without ever raising its voice.